What's up, everybody? It's Conger Live. We're back again with another Kingdom Boss video. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you what I think are the top 10 tunes in the game. Now, 10 may seem like a lot. I've seen a couple top 5 lists, but there's a couple tunes out there that don't make these top 5 lists that should be mentioned. So with that, we're going to go get into it. Don't forget to ninja kick the like button, subscribe for more content, and let's go. Okay, so here we are in the Heroes of Dominance page in the Heroes, so we can take a look at these top 10 in my opinion. So I'm going to start off with number 10. The only rare on the list is BLOODCROW. BLOODCROW is freaking amazing. He's one of the best healers in the game, especially early on. I would imagine once you need to get past level 160, you're going to start using him less, and you're going to use some of the other supports that I mentioned on this list. But you know, an amazing support. The fact that he heals, cleanses, purges, and if you get him high enough, he also blinds the enemies. Like, his ult is just really good. He does some other really great healing too. He heals the lowest health ally every 10 seconds for a decent amount, and then whenever an ally dies, he heals everyone, and when he heals himself, or when he dies himself, he's gonna heal a whole bunch. So really cool, and he pairs really well with Risen and Nature allies. But even without them, like, he just does a good amount of healing, and then that cleanse and that purge from his ult is amazing. So BLOODCROW is my number 10 hero. Number 9 is another support. It is SABLE. SABLE has a really awesome kit. She reads really well. She's definitely helped out in campaign in certain areas, especially up against the blue guys, or not blue, green, because she's red. Syndicate. She drains energy, so she slows down their ability to do their ultimates. She also stuns them, and she also applies weakened. So excellent status effects, lots of status effects. Gives regenerating, gives dodge. She also applies stacks of burning, so, and she's a sorcerer, and so she can be partnered up with a lot of great characters. So she's an excellent support. Burning or weakened, extra damage. SABLE and allies, all allies. It doesn't have to be specific, but then fire and sorcerer also do more increased damage. So definitely lots of synergy options with SABLE. SABLE's an amazing support. So she gets my number 9 slot. In number 8 is ROWAN. And ROWAN is actually the only defender on this list. He's probably the best defender in the game. Maybe he should be higher on the list. I just really love a lot of the damage dealers that we're going to talk about. ROWAN was one of the first epics I pulled early on, and he was amazing. And even though I haven't gotten any extra copies of him, he still does a really great job. He cleanses all debuffs on himself. He shields allies for 6 seconds. That's a long time. And then he also has his Void Sphere, which we're going to get into, but being able to trigger Unholy Bulwark many ways, adding Defended, especially for the undead allies if you have an undead team, giving them the extra stack of Defended. But he also reduces magical damage and heals himself, which is really cool. And then he also does like a splashback damage in a cone effect in front of him, doing some magic damage, and inhibit. So the inhibit is going to stop them from getting any buffs. So really cool. Being that he's undead, he definitely works well with the undead, and being that he's risen, he works well with BLOODCROW, who already mentioned. But yeah, he's an excellent tank defender. So he gets my number 8 spot. Now my number 7 spot goes to NETIS. NETIS is an excellent striker. The biggest drawback on NETIS until you level her up is that you need other people to help put burning out. But she does do some burning herself. I think it's a her. Maybe it's a he. Looks very feminine. But pulls is a really great, any sort of CC, whether it be a stun, a pull, a knockback, is excellent. The burning, and then the synergy with VORZULA is really, really awesome. And since you notice NETIS is on number 7, VORZULA is higher on my list. Some people would say NETIS is better than VORZULA. I have more experience with VORZULA. I really like the way she works, so that's why she's going to be higher on this list. But just a bunch of damage output from NETIS. Probably one of the biggest damage dealers in the game. So maybe 7 is a kind of a low position, but there's just so many tunes I like using for different reasons. So Demon Allies heals, so that's her and VORZULA. Increased damage to burning enemies, and all warriors gain strengthened. So if you can partner her up with other warriors, that can really also help get more damage out. So NETIS is my number 7. In my number 6 slot is the last support that I'm going to have on here, and that is Celestine. So Celestine, some people would say she's not great, and they wouldn't be wrong if they're only looking at her in the low levels. The higher you level her up, the better she gets. She's able to resurrect, and she can resurrect over and over and over again. It's not like she can only resurrect one time. She resurrects, and if she doesn't resurrect, she charges energy. She does a decent amount of healing, actually a lot of healing, as you level her up. She also applies Weakened, which is going to help protect the rest of your allies, because weakened targets don't do as much damage. And then she's going to charge not only her own energy, but she charges an ally's energy. So putting her with the right team, she's going to help just get skills off. And since it's 20% energy, I think that she has an energy cost of 200. The higher energy cost characters are going to benefit from this 20% more so than the lower energy cost characters. But regardless, like, she is like a battery, and she keeps people going. She gives hastened, so any of your heroes that like hastened. But early on, not as great. You got to level her up. You got to rank her up to really maximize her potential. But probably when you level her up, best healer in the game. My number 5. Okay, to the top 5. We've seen some top 5s before, so these are going to be heroes you've probably seen a lot of people calling out on. And number 5 is PYRE. PYRE is an amazing striker. He does decent amount of damage, a lot of his AoE. He does the burning, lots of burning. He purges buffs, which is great. You want to get rid of any buffs that they have. Lots of burning, lots of magical damage, AoE, and his fire ally synergy charges 20% energy. So he's definitely going to work really, really well with SABLE. SABLE's a fire, and NETIS being fire, I believe, as well. And then our next one, number 4, is VORZULA, which goes with NETIS and goes with PYRE. Because she also, not only does she drain and heal herself, which is really, really awesome, this Essence Siphon, but she gives strengthen to the sorcerer allies, right? Lots of sorcerer combination there. Also for her risen allies, gaining all that strengthen, making your guys stronger. So even though she's a striker, she also has a decent amount of support built in and self-sustainability. I love that she banishes. Banishes is probably one of my favorite status effects. Just it's only a 50% chance when you get her up. I think early on it's like 20%. But to be able to remove someone from the battlefield for 5 seconds, that can completely turn the tide of battle. So really, really like this mechanic. It's guaranteed if the ally was risen, and it includes herself. And if she dies, she charges all the abilities by 10 or 20% to risen and sorcerer allies. So if she does drop from the battlefield, she's going to help your team get their specials off, and she's still going to banish when she dies. Really, really cool. And then of course she has the synergy with NETIS. Here again, burning, right? And she gets to use her special when NETIS uses the special for free. So just tons of synergy there. But overall, even if you can only use just one of them, I think VORZULA's kit is amazing. Into the number 3 slot is Cascade. Cascade, kind of squishy, but does a lot of damage. She cleanses all the debuffs on herself, which is nice. And then she applies slow to the enemy, which really helps her to get out there to do the damage. She deals bonus damage to the backline targets, and when she uses her Aqua Ambush, she usually goes behind a backline target anyways, getting lots and lots of damage out there. You notice she's Aqua, Cascade, so she's water type. She gains hasten. She likes hasten, so she can put out lots of damage really, really quickly. She also has the increased chance to crit. Now it's not guaranteed crits, so but when she does crit, she applies 3 stacks of wounded to the enemy target. When you start getting into runes, a crit chance set and a crit damage set, I think, are the best for her. I didn't go over that on the rest, but definitely crit chance, crit damage for her. Assassin Spree, the last ability is that she gains her rogue and water synergy allies gain hastened and 2 stacks of focused. Focus helps them get their crits off. So really, really cool hero. Is a little squishy, but luckily she moves around enough that she's able to do a lot of damage. Okay, into the number 2 slot, the second best character in the game in my opinion is Rokov. Rokov is amazing. I think he's just stellar. He does a lot of damage, 945, right? He gains, all warrior band allies gain hastened with his special. And for 8 seconds, they put wounded, and wounded's going to make it to where they take more damage. It's just really, really awesome. He also regenerates himself, and the first time he dies, he resurrects himself. And you get him all the way leveled up, 60% health back. I think early on it's like 20%, so it's not a lot, but being able to res, other than Celestine, he's the only one that reses, right? But he only reses himself, so it's just really, really cool skill. It's nice to see him come back and keep putting that damage out. He also has the cleanse, which is really nice, but not only does it cleanse, but it replaces it with 2 random buffs. So it's like a flipping of the negative status effects. And then he also gives his warband allies, melee warband allies, the ability to stun enemies on crit. So that includes himself. So definitely like the idea of crit chance on Rokov as well. And our number 1 hero, if you haven't figured it out already, because I haven't mentioned her, is Helga. Helga is freaking amazing. When I first read her kit, I've never really been a fan of this kind of berserker style, but the way she works in this game is amazing. Her damage output is unparalleled. It says 130% physical damage, but her damage output is insane because of she's the queen of shock. Shock does a bunch of damage, not only to the target but to the people around her, so it's AoE damage. She does lose her own health off of her special, and her special being 50. She uses it often, which is actually really good because you want to get her to low health so she can get the damage bonus, which is going to come up. And she also applies wounded to the target, making them take more damage. And then she also applies strengthen, so you're giving more damage, they're taking more damage, just comboing, draining enemy energy so they're not getting any specials off. And brawler and frontline allies also gain 2 stacks of hasten. So she's not only getting fast herself, but giving her teammates hastened. And when she drops below 50% health, she gets hastened, and while she's under, she does that extra damage. So as soon as she drops under that health mark, she just starts whacking super hard, super fast. Love this tune. She is great even against Risen, which are supposed to be stronger against Empire because of all the damage bonuses she get. In my opinion, Helga is a must-have. She is hands down the best character in the game. Do you guys agree with my list? What do you think about the tunes I've mentioned? Did I put them in the wrong order? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to ninja kick that like button and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.